He says Hillary Clinton's policies and the Democrats' policies have hurt our inner cities. Look who's here. Jason Riley is the author of a very important book, Please Stop Helping Us. He's also a senior fellow at the Manhattan Institute. That's exactly what your book says. Yeah. All these policies have created ruin in the African-American community, right?
Donald Trump is absolutely right that liberal policies, many of them dating to the 1960s, have been a disaster. They've been well-intentioned, but in fact they have reversed gains that were made prior to their implementation. The progress blacks are making in the first half of the 20th century has often stalled or even reversed in the second half of the 20th century, largely because, or largely I should say, it has coincided with the implementation of these policies. So he is absolutely right there, Stuart. But there's another side to this. Yes, the Democratic Party has been taking advantage of black voters, and Republican politicians have been saying that for decades. There's nothing new here. The issue, though, is whether the Republican Party has been ignoring the black community as well.
Do you think they have?
Yes, I absolutely think they have. There are some exceptions there. People like Jack Kemp come to mind. But by and large, Republicans have written off this vote. So black voters feel they have two choices: vote Democrat or stay home. Donald Trump needs to do more than announce that he's for school choice and announce that he supports the police. He needs to do more than that. He needs to go into these communities and introduce himself. Go to the barber shops. Is he advertising on black radio stations? Is he advertising on television shows that black people watch? Is he going to go into these communities? Standing up and giving a speech in front of a mostly white crowd about school choice is not effective black outreach. That is a Republican talking point.
If he did go straight into an African-American community, into an inner city, somewhere, if he went right in there, rolled up his sleeves and said, "Here I am," would he be shouted down?
I don't believe so. I don't believe so. In fact, Donald Trump was uniquely qualified to do this. He had a certain standing in black America due to his reality television show, which was very, very popular with black audiences. I think he had a standing in the black community that most Republicans would kill for, frankly. He could have gone into these communities with a lot of credibility, and as a developer said, you know what, why are all these stores boarded up in your community? I'll tell you why. Why are jobs so scarce? Why do foreign nationals run all of these businesses? I'm a businessman. I'll tell you why, and I'll tell you how I can fix that. He could have gone in there and done that. He is not interested in doing that because I don't think his campaign strategy is focused on black turnout.
If that was the attitude of a lot of black folks to Donald Trump before the campaign began, say a year and a half ago, what went wrong? Was it just that Trump did not go straight to him?
He hasn't focused. Trump's strategy is to turn out more Republican voters. He believes, like Ted Cruz believed, that too many Republicans stayed home in 2012, and that's why the Republican Party lost. His strategy was not the strategy of, say, a Marco Rubio or George W. Bush, who said, no, our problem is there aren't enough Republicans, not that Republicans aren't turning out. Cruz's strategy does not involve expanding in terms of racial and ethnic diversity, the base of the party. His strategy is turning out these working-class, economically distressed voters in Rust Belt states and elsewhere. Black voters are not part of his campaign strategy. This is lip service. I'm glad another Republican is saying yet again, Democrats are taking you for granted, but again, that is a talking point that we've been hearing for 20 or 30 years.
We were sitting around listening to what Donald Trump had to say, and we all picked up on the same thing. Support for charter schools, support for school choice, because that is one thing that Donald Trump could do immediately if he were elected president. It's all very well saying, I'll bring jobs. That takes a lot of time if you're going to do private enterprise jobs. But you can bring school choice relatively quickly to our inner cities.
There are barriers to that. I mean, education is, for the most part, state and locally controlled in this country, and it's also controlled by teachers' unions at that level. The federal government does do some education spending, but most of it is state and local education. What he could do in places like Washington, D.C. is support the voucher program there that Obama has spent the past 8 years trying to shut down.
Yes, exactly.
So there are things he could do symbolically, and he could use his soapbox to preach school choice in all its forms, be it charter schools or vouchers or so forth. So yes, the president can play a role there, and it would be nice to have a president in office who did that.
You know, you're pretty good, Jason Riley. No wonder you're a rising star. That was passionate and great. Jason, thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it.